Staffy sat there making it 100%.
Oh my gosh, that's man did it so quick, and it's on the same show, is it? No, it's on the same show.
It's the same one.
Yeah, it's the same show. Hey, let me ask you. If he doesn't win the Prem or the Champions League, is it time to go?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think this season is really dependent on what we do in the transfer window. And at this moment in time, regardless what happens, I think Arteta is going to be leaving at the end of next season because I don't see us.
No. You didn't answer my question.
I don't see us winning the league. I don't see us winning.
You're not answering my question. I'm not asking you what you think the club's going to do. I'm asking you what would you do if he doesn't win the Champions League or the Prem? Would you sack him?
I think Arteta's going to have to go. Yeah, if we don't win,
would you sack him?
Yeah, because I don't think anything but going on and delivering some sort of silverware to appease the thirst for trophies is going to make a difference right now. And I don't think he can win the conference. I don't think he can win the Carabao Cup or League Cup and change anybody's opinion of himself. The only way he's going to change people's opinions of himself and establish himself as to stay at Arsenal and be a top manager is, I think, to go and deliver out the Champions League or the league. And really and truly, at this moment in time, we can't even say that's a guarantee. The team is so far off it compared to what City and Liverpool have done this window so far.
So even if you were getting like injuries to like your key players and that, you wouldn't be saying,
we got injuries last year. Now, 1 second. So we got injuries to Saliba. You started signing defenders. We got injuries last year throughout the whole team. You better learn and start signing squad depth. And the main thing for me is I need level raisers before I can even start speaking to Liverpool or City with chest. At this moment in time, I'm looking behind my back at Chelsea and Newcastle, saying they're more worrying. They're going to cause me more of a worry than I might cause City and Liverpool.
So you guys agreeing with our statement while the super chat was saying we're delusional. Okay, fair enough, Miguel.
What's that noise?
That's Terrace.
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
This guy's on TikTok, you know. I was watching that Ugandan man, bro.
No, someone sent me a link and I didn't mean to click on it, and it opened up and started playing music. I was like, oh shit.
But you know something, guys? I kind of like the fact that we're no longer like going into the season as one of the people everyone's saying is a favorite or everyone's picking as a title favorite. Because
why? You want to be the underdog gimmick.
And we have a tough start to the season because this shows me how serious my club is. If my club is not serious this window and they don't go into season serious, I honestly don't know when we're ever going to get our act together.
Igal, thanks for joining us today as well, because I just remembered, you just reminded me, Igal, you lot play each other first game of the season, man. I'm feeling about that, lads. I'm feeling about that, man.
Why are we talking about that? We're not.
Nah, man, let's talk, man. Let's talk.
I like it.
I'll be honest, Terry's cooking. Because when it comes to Arsenal and Manchester United, they love to rage bait us. And they love to continuously make.
Yeah, but this is like, you know what they did? This is the NBA approach, Igal, and you know that very well. You think it was a coincidence that this season the Knicks and the Boston Celtics kicked off the season? Oh my God, the computer put the Knicks and the Celtics. Who would have thought? No, they know that's gonna get them the best views on the first day of the season. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not actually against that approach. I feel like it's better for viewership, anyways. Like I don't mind the idea. We have to face you anyways, right? Just put the best fixture available to kick off the season.
So
I don't mind.
What I've noticed about the reaction to what I said, maybe my first video that went out about it, people could you might think I'm implying something, so that's fair. But I've responded to it when I was with Sam. They're creating a narrative with those opening 5-6 fixtures and the opening game of the season, and I do not believe it's computer generated. Then I found out through doing research there is an algorithm that creates the fixtures, but the whole thing is completely and utterly manually reviewed. So they tell you it's automated, but it isn't. It's manually reviewed, partly to make sure you don't have Man United and Man City at home at the same time. But actually, nowadays with AI and algorithms, that shouldn't happen. You should actually be more accurate than humans doing it. But there's definitely a review. It may have even spat it out automatically, and they go, bloody hell, normally we'd like to save that. But actually, let's have it, because it's just coincidental that the two most under pressure managers at the start of the season in the top 6 play each other first. And we have the most difficult starts to the league in terms of 5 games. Now, I saw Liverpool fans saying, but the first 10 games, we've got the hardest run. I'm like, yeah, but if you extrapolate that, another 8 games, everybody's the fucking same because they've all played each other once, right? The first, and I also want to reiterate again to anyone crying, because all I saw is, you're making excuses for United, you're making excuses for Arsenal. No, it's not about you've not listened. Your brain has shut down working. Amoeba settings. What's happened is I'm doing it for agendas. Man United and Arsenal.
Internet running up.
That's what they do. That's how like they're loading, isn't it? The amoebas, they go
The internet
dial up
connecting.
on the internet, bro.
Dial
Right?
up, yeah.
It's like, for me, we all play each other once home and away, so that's fair. But there's no way, I believe, that the starts that Arsenal and United have been given, with the pressure their respective clubs and managers are under, that was random. I just don't believe.
What's your end like though? What's your end like, man? Because
that's the other side to it. That's why I said as well. The good thing about the start, if we're talking purely about the football, I like our start, because if we have a bad start, you know you've got some easier games on the horizon. You have a good start though, Arsenal or Man United, you're going to have a good run of games coming up because you played so many of the big boys so early. That is where it becomes a positive. And I also think the narrative, and everyone ignored this part of both videos. For some weird reason, gents, they ignored when I said it could also help them, because it could also be a narrative that is used to prop us up. You know, Staffy, if we win 5 of our opening 6 games, the narrative's going to go, they're going to try and do what they did with Tottenham and with Big Ange. They're going to try and big it up to more than it is. The job's actually going to be for United fans to put fires out and say, calm the fuck down. Don't get carried away too soon. So it's all, listen, we know the media likes to dramatize things. The media and the Premier League work together because they pay them billions of pounds a year. But in terms of the football, I'm loving this as opening game of the season. It's going to, the build up that week to that game is going to be brilliant, toxic, fiery, amazing.
And you know what it is, though, Terry? There could be so many narratives here, because if they get Sesko and you get Gyökeres, for example, and you get Mbeumo as well, that's completely different now. Yeah, that's a different United team that you're facing. And okay, you could get Rodrigo too, right?
Give us something.
So there's so many little different narratives that could happen here. Like me, listen, I'm happy right now as a Chelsea fan because we've got Palace first game of the season. We had Man City last season. If you guys remember the season before that, we had Liverpool, bro. So we've been done dirty on the first day as well. So it's your turn now. It's at Old Trafford, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Right now, my early prediction is Man United win. Just right now, my early prediction, Man United win. But there we go.
I'm so shocked that Terry predicted that. Oh my God.
No one's going to hold you accountable for early prediction, Terry. Come on.
I know, exactly. It might change by then, depending on who. But there's so many subplots. Where does Gyökeres go? Where does Šeško leave? If United got their business done, who's had a good pre-season? So much will change between now and then, including probably my prediction. Let's do some super chats. There's quite a lot before the end of the show. It says, I think people are overlooking the fact that Liverpool are changing to potentially three of their 4 defenders, could hurt them early on. We spoke about this right at the top of the show, actually. Yeah, we spoke about this, me and Don and I. That's the one thing that's probably the one weakness you could draw at Liverpool is 73% of their defense could be changing. So that could be a vulnerable area.
But you can flip it the other way, though. You can argue that they've upgraded them with Kirkes, which is not
agree. If they click, yeah.
The only one that I'm just a little bit skeptical about is Frimpong, because defensively he ain't greatest. But then they had Trent, who weren't the greatest defensively as well. So there might not be much of a change there.
You could even take it further and say they could 5 out of their starting 11 could be changed by the end of the window.
Yeah, that's usually not a good thing. I usually, even if it's an upgrade, ideally, I don't like when a team changes too many first teamers in one season, because they could all be very good signings. But I feel like people dismiss the idea that it's sometimes for them, it could be a new league or a new country, or if they're from the league, it's still coming to a new team, new teammates, new manager, new atmosphere. It takes time to adapt, even if you're a good player. It doesn't mean that you're going to be garbage. It just means that you might need a few games still.
You're spitting facts, yeah, but the good thing is, to help with that, Liverpool are getting the job done early, bro. Like they're doing their
Well, the advantage at Liverpool
I haven't
and
seen
Arsenal.
announced.
Well, the thing is, where Arsenal though and Arsenal and Liverpool should both look to capitalize over, the only other 2 teams I could see potentially winning the league is City and maybe Chelsea. Is that City and Chelsea are not going to have a pre-season. They're not going to kick a ball in pre-season.
This is our pre-season.
And then you're going to have a month off, so you could start hard. Igal, is that the tifo for the Madrid game behind you? Igal's statement on the equivalent of saying that he hates big booties. Not all big booties are good booties. It's amazing. You can have put 345 words into a sentence. Listen, he's backing you there.
Wait,
Arteta
hold on.
was
Go back to what top are you wearing, Ronnie? What top is that, Ronnie?
Chelsea's a
Chelsea
Chelsea fan.
Chelsea
Ronan.
Chelsea fan.
Ronan. Yeah, he's Chelsea.
Yeah,
fan.
Ronan. He's been on the channel, bro.
Arteta is literally a loser, is what the Red Gorilla says here. I'm more concerned with how we place in every competition. For me, Arsenal finished third in the Prem, finished quarterfinals to the final of all comps. I'll keep that manager every season, is what Robert People says here.
Come on, bro.
Alright, don't ever try to call me delusional, please. Respect me.
Bro,
man.
even Igal hated that statement. If Igal didn't like it, that's how you know it's a bad statement.
Within the journey, trophies aren't everything, but at the end of the day, at the destination, they are. United are who they are now because of winning. And this is the thing, D. You're so right about that statement, but you see, that is a much broader statement you've made that can be expanded upon. Just saying all that matters is trophies, and that's a very short blanket statement with no context. That's the definition of a straw man argument. That is a definition of being a reductionist. And I think it's wrong to say that. But you are right that ultimately you want to become the best team in your country, the best team in Europe, the best team in the world, and you want to sustain that level. That's the epitome of the game, not once every 10 years winning a League Cup. That both of them can't be seen as the ultimate goal of football. They can't be. Man United will win the Prem before Arsenal. I pray. When we've got man like Emi Martinez in goal, anything is possible. We're not talking United today because Stafford's going to depress me.
That's because of the Arsenal board. People say stuff like that because they believe Arsenal will get shit right.
He's amazing.
Everything's 40 million for Emi Martinez is a good deal. What can I say, man?
No, I don't.
40 million from Emi Martinez is terrible.
No. I've said I would be annoyed if we paid any more than 20 to 25 million for him. Then
go get Mike Mignon.
He wants Chelsea, so it's not an option.
Hey, Chelsea don't want to pay the money.
Hey, we're waiting, man.
Oh, look at that. Don said it's a custom top that he made himself.
Oh yeah, that's it. I thought that was. It looks
nice,
like Everton when I just look at it quickly.
If Arteta won the Premier League instead of the FA Cup, no one would be talking about next season as a must. Trophies that make you the best at nothing. But that competition aren't what Arsenal need right now.
Facts. He'd be a made man.
You wouldn't take legal advice from a bricklayer, same way you wouldn't take advice on winning trophies from an Arsenal fan.
Red Gorilla's smoking you today.
No, Red Gorilla's not happy. No, with you today.
Gal versus one Red Gorilla who wins.
You know something? These Liverpool fans forget where they were just a couple years ago. They forget where they were.
They do.
They forget where they were. I remember when the football terrace, when I was calling in Fan Zone back when you were doing Fan Zone, and it was, if Jurgen Klopp loses this final, will Liverpool start looking at replacing him?
Yeah, I remember those conversations.